Hare Krishna. As you had asked several questions, trying to answer over here. First question: what are 8 powers of mystic? In Dhyan Yoga system, there are 8 stages: Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. When one reaches 4th stage or so, then he gets many siddhis. They are called as mystic perfections. So they are Anima, Lagima, Mahima, Prakamya, Kama Vasaita. Like that, 8 are there. Basically, becoming smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest, being able to create an universe, then fetching any item from anywhere. Like yogi can extend his hand from his window and pluck out a pomegranate from Arabian countries and present it to the people in front of him. So like that, they have many powers, but then these powers, what is the use? Because they are material, so they are temporary. They don't serve the purpose for which the soul is in this world. Soul is here for purification of the heart and for getting the mercy of the Lord. But through this siddhis one doesn't get. So there is no point in achieving these 8 powers. Once Prabhupada was told that there is one yogi who can walk on the water, and people have seen, devotees also had seen him walk on the water. Prabhupada said he wasted his 12 years because that yogi was informed to have performed yogic mystic perfections he achieved through the austerities of 12 years. Prabhupada said it was waste of 12 years because I can just pay 1 or 2 rupees to the boatman and he can help me to cross over the river. What's the point in 12 years of wasting time and then learning to walk over the water? So these mystic perfections don't serve the purpose for which the soul is in this world. Second question, you are explaining these terms from CC. Karuna, Kripalu and Akruta Droha. Could you please explain this and send that shloka? Okay, shloka I will send later. But 26 qualities of a pure devotee are explained in the Vedic scriptures, and this particular shloka comes in context of our Haridas Pandit. He was glorified by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He is glorified in the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the here I am not getting the verse immediately. Akruta Droha. That he was free from any envy towards anyone. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila also it seems. Yeah, Kripalu, Akruta Droha, Satyasara Sama Nidosha, Vadanyam Mrudu Shuchi, Akinchana, Sarvopakara Shanta, Krishnaika Sharana, Akama, Aniha, Sthira, Vijita Shadaguna, Mita Bhuk, Apramatta, Manada, Amani, Gambhira, Karuna, Maitra, Kavi, Daksha, Mauni. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu telling Srila Sanatana Goswami. Devotees are always merciful, humble, truthful, equal to all, faultless, magnanimous, mild and clean. They are without material possessions and they perform welfare work for everyone. They are peaceful, surrendered to Krishna and desireless. They are indifferent to material acquisitions and are fixed in devotional service. They completely control the 6 bad qualities: lust, anger, greed and so forth. They eat only as much as required and they are not inebriated. They are respectful, grave, compassionate and without false prestige. They are friendly, poetic, expert and silent. Anybody who practices pure devotional service is bound to get these 26 qualities which are mentioned by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Sanatana Goswami. These are very wonderful qualities. All the good qualities of demigods appear in the person who is practicing pure devotional service. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunestatra samasate suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bahihi. In Bhagavatam it is quoted that all the good qualities of demigods develop in a person who is practicing ananya bhakti. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati Bhagavati Akinchana, Akinchan Bhakti. Only Krishna is the property of such a pure devotee. To him, Krishna awards all these wonderful qualities. Third question. This shloka, Shruta Khyata Pantha, Shrute Kshita Pantha. That shloka I will find out and send later. Basically, Pantha means path, Shruta Ikshita, hearing and thereby seeing. Just by hearing only we can see. Most important is hearing, Vani service of a sadhu or scriptures, then directly wanting to see. I'll send the shloka later. Fourth question. As there are 18 Puranas, but Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala, Bhagavat Puran, which is not included in those 18. So why Srimad Bhagavatam is considered as Puran, and what's the meaning of Amala, Purana and Upanishads? Srimad Bhagavatam is also included in the 18 Puranas, but what earlier was written as a part of 18 Puranas, which was known as Srimad Bhagavatam, was not so elaborate and that good. As much as after writing all the Puranas, when Vedvyas felt despondent, then he wondered, I did all this for the upliftment of humanity, to bring them out of their cycle of birth and death, but then how come I am feeling despondent? There is some problem. He only concluded, maybe I did not glorify the name, fame, qualities and pastimes of Krishna very purely. I added a lot of dharma, artha, kama and moksha, religion, economic development, sense gratification and liberation, which is a cheating religion in one sense. So that's the reason I am feeling despondent. That is the time he thought of his spiritual master, that is Narad Muni. Narad Muni at once appeared on scene. That we find in the 4th chapter of 1st canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Narad Muni did scold him, saying that why did you cheat people by offering them dharma, artha, kama and moksha? These are not the real Purushatas. The real Purushata is Krishna Prem. So now glorify purely the name, fame, qualities and pastimes of the Lord. And then Vyasdev wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said that that is a commentary, a natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra, because the same author who wrote Vedanta Sutra, namely Vyasdev, only gave commentary on the same Vedanta Sutra in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why it's a natural commentary, and that he wrote in his maturity. In one sense, earlier it was all done in immaturity by offering dharma, artha, kama and moksha. This is Lord's pastime. This Vyasdev of current Kalpa is Lord Narayan himself. So that is all pastime to tell us how when we include dharma, artha, kama and moksha, that doesn't become pure religion, it becomes cheating religion, and that doesn't satisfy the soul. Even the writer of the literatures was not satisfied. Vedic literature was not satisfied. So how can we, who are ordinary conditioned souls, be satisfied by reading such literatures, even though Vedic literatures, but they are filled with dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Puran only. What's the meaning of Amala? Mala means contamination, or means not. That which is not having any contamination of dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Or you can say sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun is not there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Goodness, passion and ignorance. It is purely in pure goodness. It's pure Puran. Puran also means Purana, old. But Puranas are the supplementary Vedic literatures. They are to substantiate the points made in Upanishads. Upanishads or Vedas. Vedas are 4. Dharma, Artha, Atharva, Rug, Yajur, Sam. So these Vedas give like formulas. E is equal to 1/2 mv square. But then what's the application of that? That application is shown very nicely, wonderfully through Puranas. Puranas mainly consist of stories. So stories substantiate the points which are made in the Vedas or Upanishads. Vedas may say that Lord's holy name is very powerful, can take one back to God, something like that. So it's a point, philosophical point. Now how will one have understanding of it? So then in 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam we get to hear the pastime of Ajamil, and thereby we can understand, Lord's holy name Even if chanted with ignorance by a person, without offenses, if he chants, he will go back to Godhead, as did Ajamil. Puran and Upanishads. Upanishad means sitting near the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Upa means near, sitting, Nishad kind of. So then one understands the scriptures. Upanishads are there. There are 108 Upanishads. Aittariya Upanishad, Taittariya Upanishad, Mundak Upanishad, Gopal Tapani Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, Shrish Upanishad. Like that, 108 are there. Fifth question. As Srila Prabhupada made ISKCON and BBT separately, in ISKCON temples donation is there, but how fund for book printing in BBT comes? By printing only. They print the books and then they sell it with profit to ISKCON temples. Let's say a small book is made in 11 rupees. So they will sell to ISKCON temples in 13, 14, something like that, rupees or 15 rupees. So they get 2-3 rupees per book. That's a small book. For big books, they will take little more money, 5-10 rupees. And then thousands and lakhs of such books are printed by BBT and sold to ISKCON temples. So they get enough funds. They don't lack funds. In fact, earlier Prabhupada even used BBT money for printing more books as well as for temples to be built in India. Because from India we were not able to generate funds for Indian temples like Mayapur, Vrindavan and Mumbai. So the money came from the west from the BBTs we had in San Francisco, BBT, or Los Angeles. So money comes from book distribution only, book printing and selling it to the ISKCON temples. BBT earns money. Sixth question. Sometimes we hear any pastime of Lord or Srila Prabhupada from different devotees. Sometimes we hear different. Yeah, there may be some slight differences over there because people might not have read in the books and while speaking they may not be knowing exact details. But if the point is not missed, then it's fine. Details may vary. So somewhere we have to read from books and repeat as it is. Then the pastime could be the same. Seventh, as Brahma's body is made of intelligence, so how he goes for rest, sleep? Oh, sleep is one of the functions of intelligence. Intelligence has 5 functions. So one of them is sleep. So he can sleep. What's the problem? If our intelligence is disturbed, we cannot get sleep. When should we wear prativa and where to keep it? I think this is pavitra. We don't have to wear it. If our spiritual master instructs, then we may wear that pavitra which we get in Shridham Mayapur ISKCON temple, that is offered to Lord Nrsimhadev. But otherwise we don't have to worry so much. For us, what is the Vaishnava ornament is kantimala, tulsi beads, neck beads around our neck. By wearing tilak on 12 places of our body with mantra, invoking that Lord to come here. Om Keshvaya Namah, Lord Keshav is invited to reside on our forehead. Om Narayana Namaha, above the navel we invite Lord Narayan. Om Madhavaya Namaha, in the middle of the front portion of our body, chest, Lord Madhav, Govind here at the base of the neck. Like that we invite different lords. This is most important, and kantimala. These two are enough ornaments for a devotee. Many other things may be there. We don't have to worry so much. If spiritual master instructs us, we may wear pavitra or something like that. Where to keep it? We may keep it in clean place. Ninth question. I heard one pastime of Srila Prabhupada saying that the chanting bag hanging on window is crime. Then we should also never hang like that. What to do when we would be alone at outside and want to go to use public washroom? Then where to keep bid bag? They will have to hang it somewhere. That's why it has the that string kind of structure, so that we hang it to some nail or somewhere like that. But it seems that pastime talks about the bead bags were not washed, maybe, and something like that. So Prabhupada said that, made comment, why are these beads hanging there? Like bats also, he said, I think. Like bats, they catch a branch of a tree with their paws or with their feet, and then they hang upside down. So the bead bags were hanging something like that. I don't know the exact reason, whether the bead bags were not washed, that's why Prabhupada was upset, or they were just hanged over there and nobody was using them for chanting. Basically, Prabhupada was disturbed, unhappy about bead bags not being washed or used by devotees. We can hang the bead bag inside our locker to hook, or in our house to a wall nail hook, like that. And while using public washroom, anyway, we'll have to keep it outside the washroom, somewhere in safe place. The 10th question: what's the difference between a slave and a servant? The slave is somebody working under some master and getting paid for it. He is a slave. Whereas a servant, when we use the word in our Vedic terminology or in the devotee circle, the servant means das. He is not employed. He doesn't get a single penny for any service he renders. But Jivara Swarupa hai Krishna Nitya Das. All the jivas are they are servants of Krishna, and also we are servants of Guru. We are also servants of devotees. We are servants of everyone. Basically, that's our constitutional position, that we are servants. Slave will be exploited by his master, whereas the servant in the spiritual sense is not exploited, rather he is rewarded by the master by being given more and more service. What mood should we have towards our Shri Guru, slave or servant or daughter? Basically, servant's mood. We are servants of Krishna, so servant. Matajis can think that they are maid servants, but basically servants. And spiritually, yes, the disciples are the sons and daughters of the spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada would write in his letters, my dear sons and daughters at ISKCON Melbourne, something like that. So, after initiation, spiritual master becomes our father and the scriptures become our mother. So we are sons or daughters, or we are servants. Slave word is also not a problem, because Prabhupada said that the disciple should feel he is like sold out slave, servant of the spiritual master. But in the material world, slave word has negative connotation in terms of exploitation of the slave by the master. But here, whether Krishna as the supreme master or spiritual master do not exploit us, so slave word is also not a problem. 11th question: as Krishna explains himself as Adi Purusha to Srila Markandeya Rishi, as in Chaitanya Charitamrita we see Adi Madhya Ante Lila. So is there incarnation of Lord like Adi Purusha, Madhya Purusha and Ante Purusha? Adi Purusha is the first person. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, as Brahma ends each one of his verses in glorification of the Lord with this line, that, oh my dear primeval Lord, first Lord. From him then came so many other lords, all varieties of lords came. Balram came, Sankarshan Vasudeva Pradyumna Aniruddha came, then Narayan came, all that. So that sense it is Adi Purusha. And similarly then the book will also, voluminous book will be divided into 2-3 parts. So it's like Adi Lila, the pastimes performed in the first part of the life of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are called Adi Lila. Then Madhya Lila is a middle part of his life. It is divided in 2 different ways in Chaitanya Charitamrita and in Chaitanya Bhagavat. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is after his initiation at Gaya by his spiritual master Ishwar Puri till he took sannyas, and later to sannyas all the pastimes are put in Antyakhanda portion of Chaitanya Bhagavat. Whereas in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is up to sannyas Adi Lila. Sannyas onwards till next 6 years he is going to South India, he is going to Vrindavan, Bengal, etc. That is all put in Madhya Leela. And then later to that is all into Ante Leela. Last 18 years of his continuous stay in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham, in which period he never went anywhere. He just was reside in Jagannath Puri only. So Adi Madhya Antya is in terms of beginning, middle and end portion of the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Bhagavad. As such, there is, so it's not like a Lord in the beginning, Lord in the middle, Lord at the end. In one sense, you can say Lord in the beginning is like Brahma, because these are all Gunavatas who controls passion. Through passion he creates. And then Lord in the middle is like Lord Vishnu who maintains. And Lord at the end is Lord Shiva who destroys. In the mode of ignorance, he destroys everything. And also in Karnataka we have, what is that called as? Adi Shirangam Ranganath. So Adi Ranganath, Madhya Ranganath and Antya Ranganath. Where Kaveri originates, place I forgot, Shiv Sagar, some word is there. That place, that is, there is one Ranganath over there, huge deity of Lord lying in the resting position. That is called Adi Ranganath. Then in the middle of Kaveri flow within India, from the source to the destination, is this, what is that place? It is called a Madhya Ranganath. Over there, deity is there. Very beautiful deity of Lord Ranganath. So that is Madhya, forgot the name of that place. Patnam, some Patnam word is there. And then last is Shirangam, where Lord Ranganath again is there. So that's the end portion of Kaveri, and Kaveri merges into Bay of Bengal. So there we have again Ranganath. So Adi, Madhya and Antya Ranganath are also there in that sense. But the way the question is here, that is not Adi Purush, Madhya Purush, Antya Purush, that kind of words are not so much fitting into the question. 12th, I was hearing one lecture of His Grace Adesham Prabhu. He said one should study 6 plus 6 items of Upadeshamrit in a great detail from book called Sri Bhaktyalok, written by His Divine Grace Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And now I am reading Srila Prabhupada books, but if you have read it, could you please explain me some brief details about this? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written elaborately on the second and third verses of Shri Upadeshamrit, Srila Prabhupada gave in the form of the nectar of instruction. So 6 unfavorable items: Atyahara Prayasasya Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangasya Laulyamsya Shadvir Bhaktir Vinashyati. 6 items are very dangerous for the progress of devotional service: overeating or collecting more funds than required; Atyahara Prayasasya, endeavoring, prayasas is too much endeavor for mundane things which are very difficult to obtain; Prajalpa, mundane gossip, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matter; Prajalpo Niyamagraha, not following the rules and regulations, thinking oneself to be transcendental, or following them too strictly like a fanatic, not knowing the purpose behind, that is Niyamagraha. Janasangasya, associating with the worldly minded persons, is also very dangerous for bhakti's growth; and Laulyam, intense greed for material things. These are the 6 unfavorable things which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has very elaborately described in Bhaktyalok. And also there are 6 favorable things: Utsaha, Nishyad, Dhairya, Tat Karma Pravatana, Sangatyaga, Satavrutte, Shadvir Bhaktir Prasidhyati. 6 favorable things for bhakti's progress are Utsaha, being enthusiastic; Nishchaya, being very confident that Lord will surely give His mercy to me; patience, that is Dhairya; Sangatyagat, giving up association of materialistic people; Satovrutte, following in the footsteps of previous acharyas, that is 5th, Satovrutte; Sangatyaga, Satovrutte; Atyahara, Utsaha, Nichya, Dhairya, Tat Karma Pravatana. 4th is Tat Karma Pravatana. Whatever is favorable in that direction, like Shravanam, Kirtanam, about the Lord, that all has to be done. So these 6 plus 6 things are 12 items in one sense, are elaborately discussed in that book Shri Bhaktyalok by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. 13th, what's the difference between Vaishnava etiquettes and Pancharatrika Vidhi? Pancharatrika Vidhi is all about worshipping deities, how to worship them, all the mudras, nyasa, and many technical details are there. Whereas Vaishnava etiquettes are for all the Vaishnavas. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vaishnava etiquettes are the ornaments in the life of a devotee which make him beautiful in the eyes of the Supreme Lord. So much so that the Supreme all attractive Lord Krishna gets attracted to such a devotee. Vaishnava etiquettes is how to behave properly, how to speak, how to do everything in a very pleasing way for the Lord, Guru and devotees. So Vaishnava etiquettes are all about that. 14th, how it is known that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur are Nayan Manjari and Kamal Manjari. So Srila Prabhupada would be which Manjari? Prabhupada did not reveal about his Swarupa, that is his spiritual identity in Golok Vrindavan. There are some hints about it, but there is no surety, because one place in one song that Prabhupada writes, he asks, I am eager to know what's there in Krishna's lunch box. So some devotees say that it seems that Prabhupada was in Sakhyaras, because only the cowherd boyfriends of Krishna are eager to know what's there in Krishna's lunch box. The parents are not interested. They only have scent in one sense. Nor are gopis interested to know what is there in Krishna's lunch box. So it seems Prabhupada was in Sakhyaras, but not sure because he did not mention anywhere. And as far as Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has written songs in that he makes that point. About Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I also don't know. Where is it mentioned? 15th, should we cover Srimad Bhagavatam with covering as we do in school for notebook? Covering to keep the book safe. Yeah, plastic cover is good so that the outside the jacket cover, which has very nice picture of that prominent pastime in that canto, could be visible. But in case one feels covering with some another paper or something, that is also okay. That's in one sense already Srimad Bhagavatam is covered with that jacket, I think they call that cover page. Otherwise that cover page can easily come out also. People, devotees do plastic laminations also, covering for Bhagavatam. My whole set was done like that, and earlier we used to do that. Then 16th, I heard one pastime of Srila Prabhupada. He was looking to one window where a japa bag was hanging. So he said, whose chanting bag is crying there? But some devotees say to hang. In Hari Bhakti Vilas also I read that one should keep japa at a clean japa, I think bid bag, at a clean place. So what's ideal? Should we keep japa bag on a clean place or hang it? Till now I used to keep it in a safe drawer. I have not heard these details, but I heard that once devotee was chanting on the beach, sitting on one chaddar, and the bead bag was touching to the chaddar. And Prabhupada said, what is that? Your bead bag are touching to that chaddar on which we walk. He said, Prabhupada, the beads are inside the bead bag. What's the problem? Beads are not touching the chaddar. That was his point. Prabhupada said, that's not proper. That's like a Shudra behavior. Even the bead bag in which the beads are kept should not touch something unclean like our feet or the chaddar on which we walk or even mat on which we walk. So the Prabhus, when they sit, they have this hanging portion, front portion of dhoti. They put it on that right side, and when their hands are on the knees in the cross-legged fashion, then the bead bag is on that front portion of the dhoti. So that way, bead bag should not touch anything unclean. As far as hanging, I have not found anything improper over there. I have not heard it. There is nothing wrong in hanging. That's how this thing is also. We can hang it around our neck when on our body, and otherwise we can hang it to hook or nail on the wall. It should not touch to something unclean. 17. Difference between humbleness and humility. It's the same thing. Humility is the noun. Being humble. I don't know what to call it. So humbleness, humility. 18th. You said one quote, notes get delivered, then something. Could you please confirm this and explain it more? Radheshyam Prabhu says that so many notes are made in so many notebooks, and notebooks are well maintained, and the devotee doesn't read those notes at all. He doesn't follow them. So all the notebooks will go back to Godhead because they have such nice, pure discussions, descriptions, where the devotee doesn't read them, so he doesn't benefit in the true sense of the term. Why has he made notes then? Just for the sake of filling the notebooks? That should not be point. One should read his notes also. That was his point. 19. In Vrindavan Yatra, you were explaining one pastime of crocodile hole. Would you please explain that again? When Jiva Goswami defeated one time one big scholar, Rup Narayan, other time Vallabh, but some argument was there. So one of such times, Rupa Goswami banned him from being in Vrindavan, saying that you are very proud. How can you do such kind of thing? So you don't deserve to be in Vrindavan. Get out of here. So then when he was banned from Vrindavan, where will he go? So he went to the outskirts near Ramghat, which is almost the, in one sense, boundary of Vrindavan. So there in one crocodile hole, he resided. Because he needed a house, but he cannot reside. He is a Goswami. He cannot build kutir, etc. So he just stayed in that crocodile hole. Crocodile had used that hole earlier for living, and then crocodile had left. So hole was there. So Jiva Goswami entered in that hole and stayed there for some days. And Sanatana Goswami eventually came there to that area of Nandaga, of that Ramghat or whatever. So then he was begging Madhukari, alms from different people's houses. So one old man said, "Oh Baba, you are very renounced. You eat only by begging. But we know much better renounced Baba, who doesn't even come out of his residence. He just resides there only in a crocodile hole. And we only go and throw some chickpea atta or something like that, and he mixes it with Yamuna water and eats that only. He's very lean, thin, and all the time chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." So then Sanatana Goswami understood Jiva is not visible, Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan, so must be him. So he asked whereabouts, personally went and saw. He was in a very weak condition. Sanatana Goswami brought him out of that crocodile hole and took him to Vrindavan to Rupa Goswami. 20th. As in the bhajans of Srila Rupa Goswami, directly or indirectly, he always mentions his guru, Srila Sanatana Goswami, at the end stanzas of bhajans, while as Narottam Das Thakur, a disciple of Srila Loknath Goswami and Srila Jiva Goswami, along with that Srinivas SNDT, Sri Narottam Das Thakur, mostly mentions Sri Rupa Goswami in his bhajans. Is there any intimate confidential pastime between Sri Narottam Das Thakur and Sri Rupa Goswami? I don't know, but then they were trained, all these three devotees, Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamanand Pandit. They were Shiksha disciples of Jiva Goswami. They all studied the Vedic literatures under the tutelage of Srila Jiva Goswami, and Jiva Goswami happens to be a disciple of Rupa Goswami. So naturally, to Param Guru, now their Shiksha Guru is Jiva Goswami, and Shiksha Guru's Diksha Guru is Rupa Goswami. So they may refer to him also, just like many times, means all the time in ISKCON we are chanting Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. The Prabhupada is not directly our Guru, he is our Param Guru. He is the spiritual master of our spiritual master. So there is nothing wrong. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also ends each and every chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita with obeisances to Rupa and Raghunath. They are not his gurus. His guru was Sri Nityananda Prabhu, but he considers Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami as his Shiksha Gurus. So Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, no difference. So one can offer obeisances to Shiksha Guru at the end of his poem or whatever. 21st. Where is Shri Mani Mandir? This is some song where it said Radhara Bhagini Shama Sohagini Sava Sakhigana Prana Jahara Labari Mandapa Sajani Shri Mani Mandirana. I don't know this song. You have to know the full song, who has written it. It says the sister of Radharani Anang Manjari is very dear to Shri Sham, and she is the life and soul of all the Sakhis. She decorates the arena of the temple named Mani Mandir. I don't know where is Mani Mandir. We have to know this song, and then some details might be found out. 22nd. Could you please explain the meaning of this quote of Srila Prabhupada on 28th September 1974, in which he says, shortcut of demon crazy is democracy. All the demons and rogues, they gather together, somehow or other votes and and occupy the seat, and the business is plundering. Yeah, Prabhupada is making sarcastic remark on democracy. Earlier there was, in one sense, what they call, one ruler. He would be ruling, like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj. They were Rajarshis. They were saintly kings. Gross bodies were Kshatriyas, but the subtle body, they were like sages. So, Kshatriya outside and sage inside. So, Raja, Rushi, Rajarshi. But then eventually it was found that these monarchs, they were becoming like autocrats and very dangerous because they were not following any Brahmanas. Then they became rogues kind of. So then this system was demolished from the planet Earth in most of the places, and then introduction was democracy, in which they say the kingdom of people, by the people, for the people, like the people, all that. But then Prabhupada says this is demon crazy, because all these people who are all Shudras, Kalo Shudra Sambhavi, in Kali Yuga all population born is Shudras, low class people, and they vote. Whom will they vote? Low class people will vote low class people only. So the politicians are also low class. So demons go crazy, and then they appoint some another bigger demon as their head, and then the only business of all these people is plundering the innocent citizen, etc. So there is no God consciousness there. That's why Prabhupada makes a sarcastic remark saying that shortcut of demon crazy is democracy. Some kind of matching is there. Demon crazy, democracy, like that. Prabhupada kind of jokes about it. Then I think there is some more question. Due to technical issues, some question broke in between. Sometimes we hear different pastime of Srila Prabhupada from different devotees. Sometimes when we hear the same pastime from different devotees, it gets contradicted. What should we do? Read the pastime in the book properly, where it is mentioned properly. There are different devotees. It's like they say also, the truth, when it is passed down from people to people, by the end of it all, it's altogether a different story, because little they kept changing. Like I said, I'm giving you this 10 rupees, give it to that person, or tell him that I have given him 10 rupees. So next person, he forgets how much it was. So he says, Prabhu gave some 20 rupees to that devotee. And then he says, tell that person. So then he forgets, then he says, Prabhu gave some 30 rupees. And by the end of it, it may appear like I gave thousands of rupees. Though I give only 10 rupees. So that is a little bit defect sometimes when information is passed on, not and while passing on, different information goes out. That's why Prabhupada wrote the books in which the philosophy doesn't change, the same tattva is given. And down the line also, even if changes are made when orally it is transferred, but eventually when people refer to the books, then they will get the perfect understanding as to what the details of those stories were. Some more questions it seems. Generally we get attached to the local temple and their deities. So is it okay? Yeah, why not? They are our Ishtadev. Natural, because we go every weekend. Sometimes if the temple is very near, we may go every day also. They will be our Ishtadev natural. There is no difference between all the Radha Krishnas in different ISKCON temples all over the world. Or it's all the same. But then we are particularly attracted to our Ishtadevs because we see them regularly. We have their photos. We offer bhoga at home to those photos. We go and celebrate festivals in front of them. So naturally to become attached to local temple or the deities over there. So according to this purport, devotees do not need to see astrology for marriage. That purport is not opened here, so I don't know what is written over there. But those who have transcended bodily platform, such boy and such girl, when they get come together through the marriage ties, then there is no need of these things like astrology. Because tomorrow, even if there is some little bit here and there, by being very Krishna conscious, understanding we are not bodies, sense gratification is not the goal of our life, they will be able to gel nicely with each other, keeping Krishna in center, and they will go on. Whereas for that matter, even arranged marriage with matching of kundali, etc., if those people are quite materialistic, then again they may separate through divorce, because one keeps oneself in center and then everything is disturbed. Prabhupada got his foreign disciples married without saying kundali also. Those who were beyond bodily concept of life, they could go on peacefully living with one another. Now also we find in the foreign countries there are so many couples who stay together they have no concept of astrology, but they are able to go on because selflessness is the lifestyle, then one can go on. But when selfishness is the central theme of one's existence, then one will not be able to match with one's own real brother and sister also in the same house, or one may be against parents also, because selfish people, they keep themselves in center and they remove everybody else. For that matter, we see Aurangzeb killed his own two brothers, and a third brother ran away from India to his country, and his own father he put him in jail, not even allowing him to see the Taj Mahal that he had built. So he starved him to death. So as such, that way there is no need of astrology for marriage. But then because we are not so high on spiritual platform, so better to see astrological charts before marriage, so that, because just like we see gross body, imagine the boy is 5 feet tall and the girl is 6 feet tall, so it looks so odd. Boy should be of the same height or little more in height than the girl. So like that, these gross considerations are there. Financial equality and all that, financial statuses of both the parties, complexion, educational, all that. So like that, subtle body is not visible. So through astrological charts, subtle body is revealed, whether they will be happy with each other or not. Will this couple be satisfied with each other through marriage ties? So that's why astrological charts better to go through. Next question, what does Pushta means here? There is one lecture of Srila Prabhupada which is quoted, January 1st, 1994. This is Srila Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj lecture under Tapta Jivanam. Guru is Swarup Shakti Pushta Krishna Parikar. He is an eternal associate of Krishna. He is nourished by the Swarup Shakti, the internal potency of Krishna. This internal potency is not different from the Swarup. It is energy that has emanated from the Swarupa. This is the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. This is Pushta. Pushta means poshan kiya hua. He is nourished. So he is Krishna Parikar. He is an associate of Krishna. What kind of associate? Swarupa Shakti Pushta. He is nourished by the Swarup Shakti, the internal potency of the Lord. That is spiritual potency, Satchidananda. So he is nourished by that because he is always serving the Lord on transcendental platform. So the transcendental platform is eternally nourishing him. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritha bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyam, as Krishna says, I think in 9th chapter, that Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritha. The pure devotees of the Lord, they are always sheltered by they take shelter of the internal potency of the Lord. So now whosoever you take shelter of, that personality will give you shelter. So because pure devotees take shelter of the internal potency of the Lord, the internal potency gives him shelter and gives him nourishment. So he is Pushta, he is nourished by that Swarup Shakti. So that's why Guru is Swarup Shakti Pushta Krishna Parikar. He is an eternal associate of the Lord. Could you please explain this statement in more details? There is one passage quoted from somewhere. It says, can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. The Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 3rd chapter, 19th verse says, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path. Nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach one of its spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of, I think, success in spiritual life. That Prabhupada got that line from 2.41. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekiha kuru nandana. From Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on Bhagavad Gita. But here he says, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. That the path of religion is directly initiated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path. Our senses have defects. We have 4 defects. Our senses are imperfect. Thereby we fall in illusion. Then we commit mistakes. To hide the mistakes, we cheat. So with these 4 defects, we cannot understand the Lord. So that's why we have to take shelter of the spiritual master who has heard this same knowledge in parampara, without adulteration, without any change. Same message is repeated from spiritual master to disciple. The disciple eventually goes on to become next spiritual master. He gives it as it is to his disciple. The disciples become gurus. Like that it continues in Guru Shishya Parampara. Unbroken chain of disciplic succession. The knowledge is passed down and we become the recipients of that knowledge, and we get the Lord because we are getting the scriptures in Guru Parampara. We are knowing the direct dharma. But here saying, nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. So one side mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help one to the right path. So here this independent study of spiritual books of knowledge will not help, because this is a tarka path. And Mahabharata says, Tarko pratishto shrutayo vibhinno nasa rusiryasya matam na bhinnam. Dharmasya tattvam dharmasya tu tattvam nihitam guhaya mahajano yena gatasapanta. Prabhupada quotes in Bhagavad Gita this verse of Mahabharata, wherein it is said that tarka and dry arguments are useless. When we want to determine the absolute truth, how can we, Prabhupada would compare us many times to Dr. Frogs, to scientists particularly. Dr. Frog means frog, Manduk. He took birth in a well. That's why frogs are called as Kupa Manduk. Frogs born in well. And they grow also in well. And then they get married there, produce children. Whole life goes in well only. And some friend of his comes from Atlantic Ocean, says, oh my friend, I am coming from Atlantic Ocean. Oh, what's that? Oh, Atlantic Ocean. That's a huge body of water. Huge as my well. Oh, no. Far superior. How much? Double the size of this well. Much bigger. Then triple. No, far bigger. Then it's a 10 times. So no, much bigger than that. He said that cannot exist only. So like that, if we try to speculate about the Supreme Lord, we won't be able to. So similarly, by reading the books also, if we try to speculate, nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. The knowledge has to be based on the knowledge coming in Guru Shishya Parampara. Those books written by those acharyas in that parampara in which we are sheltered, if we read, then that's fine, because we are taking shelter of the acharyas through that books. But outside of the shelter of the acharyas, by our own fertile brain, we try to speculate about the Lord, we won't be able to reach the proper conclusion about the Lord, because achintya khalu ye bhava. Lord is really inconceivable. One just can't understand the Lord by his tiny puny brain. Prabhupada says teeny, he uses the word tiny puny brain. We cannot understand him. Then one more. When we are hearing a lecture and it would be of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, or any commentary of acharyas, is it okay if we read some part of that Shastra, maybe 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Antya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. After the lecture or wrong, as in daily reading, we would be in first or second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and Adi of Chaitanya Charitamrita. No, nothing wrong. We have already read there. We can ask also the speaker, that you mentioned this part, can I read that? They will recommend. That much portion we can read. Not a problem. In fact, in the Western countries, devotees, when Chaitanya Charitamrita came out, they have distributed Chaitanya Charitamrita set. Now also they do that. To brand new Westerners who may be smoking cigarette, boozing, smoking, drinking wine, and maybe having girlfriend or 10-15 girlfriends. To them also full set of Chaitanya Charitamrita are given. Those fellows, when they open those books at home and start reading, in one sense, what can they understand? But they will understand, because Prabhupada makes the subject matter understandable even to the first comer also, newcomer also. So devotees who are chanting 16 rounds daily, are following 4 regulative principles, visiting temples weekly, and doing morning program, preaching, why can't they read any portion of any book of Prabhupada? But still, sequence is good, so that we get the link also. So in general, we read in sequence any book, whether Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. But when we are inspired by something that was quoted in the lecture, we can definitely go to that portion of that book, whether Ante Leela or last chapter of Bhagavatam, last canto, no problem. It's absolutely fine. Okay, these are some questions, and then some more doubts. I think the same email is repeated again. But some questions are added in this. I'll have to again go through the whole thing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. I think one question here, Treta Yuga means third Yuga and Dwapar Yuga means second Yuga. Then why Treta Yuga comes second, then Dwapar Yuga comes? This change is only for this particular Kalpa, because when who was that? Gautam Rishi, when he cursed his wife Ahilya for her not able to recognize Indra disguised as Gautam Rishi and having physical connection with him, Gautam Rishi cursed her that you will become a stone. Then when she asked for pardon and forgiveness, then he said, okay, when Lord Ram comes, he will deliver you. By his touch of his lotus foot, you will be delivered, you will again become Ahilya. She said, oh, but Lord Ram will come in Treta Yuga, which will be after Dwapar Yuga. So it will be long period of time for which I will have to remain as a stone. So then Gautam Rishi said, okay, no problem. I will change it. I will swap it. So then first Treta Yuga will come, then Dwapar Yuga. And that's how in this particular thing, after Satya Yuga, then Treta Yuga came, in which Lord Ram came and he delivered Ahilya, and then came Dwapar Yuga. What is Nava Gunjar Avatar and what's its pastime? Nava Gunjar, I don't know. I did not hear it. I have heard that Lord Narsingdev came as once as cat also. So whether it is Gurujar I think in Sanskrit is cat in English. So whether it is referring to Nava Gurujar or Nara Gurujar, half man, half cat, could be. I'm not sure, but I don't know. 24th year. Do our counselors should need to know everything about us? No. When we took prasad today, how many chapatis we took today, that he doesn't have to know. Only that which is giving ecstasy to us in devotional service, we reveal Guhyam Akhyati Pruchati, our heart in confidence to him or her. And some difficulties we have, doubts, that we ask. Otherwise, counselor is not supposed to be downloaded with everything. Every time SMS, every second. Okay, I drank 1 glass of water. Please forgive me. It was not 1 glass. Actually, it was 3/4 of the glass. Actually, not 3/4. I think it was 550 ml. So this kind of foolishness is not to be interacted with counselor and all that. Then 25th, how can we compare our bhav of early time and of now? How to understand that bhav? Bhav is very advanced platform. Those who have been practicing bhakti for many lifetimes, and by that they have crossed anarthas, anartha nivritti, they have entered in nishtha, they are in the mode of goodness. Then they practice ruchi, they have attraction for devotional activities, liking, and then attachment to Krishna, asakti. Then comes bhav. One may read this 17th or 18th chapter of Nectar of Devotion. Beginning, Prabhupada gives 9 characteristics of person in the mode of person in the bhava stage, ecstatic devotional practice. Avyata kalatvam, he does not waste a single moment. Namagane sada ruchi, he likes to chant the holy name of the Lord 24 hours a day. Pritistak vasati sthale, he loves to reside in holy dham. Nam asaktik stad upakhyane, he likes to describe the glories of the Lord all the time. Manashunyata, completely freed from any desire to expect respect. Virakti is completely detached. Ashabandha, hope against hope. No matter how many bad things happen in life, he always is hopeful that Lord's mercy is there in my life and it's coming in my life. So we don't have to worry about our bhav. We have unlimited anarthas stored in our heart. We should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, with clear pronunciation, and try to hear attentively. Then anarthas will go, then will come to nishtha, then ruchi, then asakti, then bhav will come. Bhav platform devotee, he experiences ashta sattvic vikar. Romanchakampa shrutaranga bhajo, his body trembles in ecstasy, his hair on the body stand on end, his bodily complexion fades, then he has torrential rain like tears coming from his eyes. That's very high platform. According to this purport, devotees do not need to say astrology for marriage. Here it is shown. We already answered it, but just the passage. Purport of this Prabhupada said, the men of higher classes, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, do not beget children in the wombs of lower class women. Therefore, the custom in Vedic society is to examine the horoscopes of a girl and boy being considered for marriage to see whether their combination is suitable. I already said, subtle body is appropriate or not. Vedic astrology reveals whether one has been born in the Vipra Varna, Kshatriya Varna, Vaishya Varna or Shudra Varna, according to the 3 qualities of material nature. Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Accordingly, there are 3 ganas in astrology. Devtagan, Devgan, Manavgan, Manushyagan and Rakshasgan. So the boy is in Devgan, if the girl is in Rakshasgan, if they both marry, though externally both are born in Brahmin families or both are born in Kshatriya family, there will be fights because their ganas are different. So astrological charts will reveal that, and accordingly the marriage can be decided. This must be examined because a marriage between a boy of the Vipra Varna and a girl of the Shudra Varna is incompatible. Married life would be miserable for both husband and wife. Consequently, a boy should marry a girl of the same category. Of course, this is Traigunya, a material calculation according to the Vedas. But if the boy and girl are devotees, there need not be such considerations. A devotee is transcendental, and therefore in a marriage between devotees, the boy and girl form a very happy combination. Yeah, if they are not going to be on bodily platform, then, but it is not what we see in the ISKCON world today. They are quite on the bodily platform. That's why there are a lot of divorces also. So better to check horoscopes. horoscopes of both boy and girl. For married devotee woman, whose words are more important, Shri Guru's or husband's? Ideally, husband's who is in line with Guru. So that's why it is recommended that both husband and wife have one Guru only, so that the husband becomes the representative of Guru for the wife, because husband is following very sincerely. But if the husband is not following Guru properly or Vedic literature properly, then comes the confusion. Then what should the Mataji, the wife, do? Because if she goes against husband, husband will be upset and may create hellish life for her. And if she follows him, then there is another hell that is awaiting her, because he is not following the Hari Guru Vaishnavas properly. And so in such times, at least counselor can be there who can guide that Mataji. Maybe devotee Mataji will be there who will guide senior Mataji, guide this young Mataji. And when husband is not in proper terms, what to do then? Okay. Hare Krishna. These questions are answered. After that, there are no questions. Hare Krishna.